1.5 million Uyghurs are imprisoned in re-education camp in Xinjiang, yet only a few people cry out Uyghurs' lives matter. 8,000 Hong Kong protesters are arrested, yet only a few people cry out Kongese lives matter. A suspect named George Floyd is killed by the police in the United States, and the West shout out loudly, Black Lives Matters. It seems that all lives are equal, yet some are more equal than others. Like Hong Kong protester, George Floyd is killed by police brutality. But the tragedy of Floyd's death does not rationalize the ongoing Western cultural revolution, where rioters loot stores and smash heritages in the name of anti-racism. Recently, some radical lefts in Britain even tried to tear down Winston Churchill statues. Churchill said, "Ingratitude towards their great man is the mark of strong people." Yet these protesters are not strong peoples, for they are not expressing ingratitude. Instead, they are simply venting their irrational angers to the dead, racist figures who have nothing to do with Floyd's death. Instead of constructing the future, they are destructing the history. I'm angry with those people who try to compare Hong Kong protesters with these Western regards. Hong Kong protesters smashed the government buildings and vandalized pro-China chain stores, yet they never rob or loot. While the protesters were smashing the Legislative Council on 1st July 2019, they took drinks and put down money in the canteen. Hong Kong protesters are very disciplinary. They are not robbers or looters. They are fighters. But what distinguishes Hong Kong protesters from the Western regards are ideologies. While Western regards are purely destructive, Hong Kong protesters are constructives. Hong Kong protesters are defending their cultural subjectivity from Chinese oppressions. Hong Kong protesters' slogan, 光復香港, literally means restore Hong Kong. They are fighting for the restoration of Hong Kong, restoring Hong Kong's cultural autonomy, liberty, democracy by ending police brutality and Beijing's intervention. Unlike mainland China, thanks to British colonization, Hong Kong escaped from the communist destruction of history and culture until 1997. Christian and Confucian heritages were bought by missionaries and scholars escaping from the mainland China to the Pearl of the Orient. The unity of Western and Eastern civilization means that the extremists can hardly find their market in the city, which follow Confucian doctrine of mean, 中庸. Doctrine of mean does not mean neutrality. Rather, in Neo Confucian tradition, it means impartiality, 中, and regularity, 庸. Both anti-Western conservative and anti-Chinese revolutionary agendas go against Hong Kong cultural spirit, which never inclined to extreme ideologies. Therefore, neither nationalist riots in 1956 nor the communist riots in 1967 gained majority support. When the Cultural Revolution was destroying and unrooting the spiritual life of Chinese people, Hong Kong became a typhoon shelter for the Chinese freedom lovers. Churches were not torn down in the name of anti-imperialism, while temples were not knocked down in the name of anti-feudalism. However, it does not mean the Hong Kongese are always moderate. When Beijing tries to impose their extremist communist ideology on Hong Kongese revolt and defend the doctrine of mean. That's the major reason for the 2019 anti-communist revolution that we have seen on the news. History must be critically examined, which involves a long-term process of community dialogues and rational reflection, but not be radically denied by vandalizing statues and heritage. Churchill, Colombo, Jefferson should be criticized rationally in an academic setting. Vandalism of historical statues contributes nothing to historical reflection. Instead, it only triggers more violent clashes between the traditionalists and the anti-traditionalists. That's what Hong Kongese have learned from the painful lesson of modern East Asian history. Radical lefts like Butler and Zizek, who promotes radical denial of the past and never acknowledge the doctrine of mean, are fully responsible for the current Western cultural revolution. A radical denial of the history cannot imply a bright future. One cannot build a castle in the air, but the radical lefts simply call for destructions. Down with capitalism, down with racism. Sound great, aren't they? But what's next? They fail to rediscover the progressiveness of their own cultural heritage to overcome the reactionary barriers. Westerners should learn from Hong Kong protesters, who disciplinarily defend their cultural subjectivities from Chinese intervention without destroying their own history. Chinese politics lack democracy, yet Asian Confucian belief in equality justify the modern Chinese democratization. That's why you can see Confucian slogan and quotation in Hong Kong protester graffiti. Westerners who really look for reforms rather than mere depredation should learn from Hong Kong's wisdom.